Ready then, Facebook? It's Sunday night, it's 8:30, and we're live in my front room! Someone's messaging me! It really is live! Well, how are you doing? Welcome everyone to my Facebook Live from my front room. It is, what time? 8:31, I make it. You alright? Weird week? Bit weird. It's all weird at the moment, isn't it? Did you see the speech from the Queen? How fantastic was that, by the way? We'll meet again. Flipping heck. Did you go? I nearly went. Yeah, it is weird. And you know when people say, when I got a spare 5 minutes, I'll do something. Well, we got a spare 5 weeks or something at the moment. And I'm spending a lot of time reminiscing, you know, thinking about the good days, the good old days and all that sort of thing. And reminiscing about family. And an uncle, miss him, years ago, he was an inventor. He invented the strongest wig glue in the world, but like years ago, you couldn't just say something was the best. There was no such thing as hype years ago. You had to do a test to prove something was the best. So they had to do a test for his wig glue to prove it was the best wig glue in Britain. What they did is they glued a wig to a man's head, used my uncle's wig glue, listen to this, took him up, and a jumbo jet, 740, flipping 7. And at 500 miles an hour, this bloke with the wig glued to his head had to stick his head out the window for the test. 500 miles an hour. Oh my God, how dangerous was that? But here's the good news. It was successful. Because when they found the head, the wig was still on it. I don't know if you're laughing. I feel quite guilty about that one. Never mind. Let's do this. Well, I loved him, that uncle of mine, but he was my hero. But when you're little, sometimes your parents tell you white lies, don't they? They don't do it to be derogatory or rude or nothing. They do it to protect you. Now, I loved him, but apparently, I found out after he passed on, this is years later, my mum told me that he was an alcoholic, and he drank dangerous amounts of alcohol, you know. Not as much as some of you have got by yourselves right now, I would imagine. But now I come from Exeter. And through the middle of Exeter, we got the River Exe. And it meanders through the city. It meanders through the city. Some days it flows. Just, anyone get that? Just outside of Exeter, the River Exe gets shallower. And we've got a bloke there, we call him the preacher. And he baptises people in the River Exe on a Sunday. Isn't that lovely? He's got a long white robe and a white beard. We call him the preacher. I'm not sure what his denomination is. Denomination, isn't it? I said domination. I'll probably get spanked for that. Well, people would come from miles around. I've got to give you time to laugh. I don't know if you are. I'm trusting you. People would come from miles around to get baptised, and those that were going to get baptised would wade into the water up to their waist. I'll show you what it's like, because some of you weren't there. Waded into the water up to the waist, a bit like this. Stop. And the preacher would cup their head in his hand, and this is lovely, by the way, and say, "Search your soul and find the Lord." How lovely is that? And hold their head under the water for about 4 seconds. 12 if you didn't like them. And he'd pull them out and say, "Have you found the Lord?" And they say, "Yes, I found the Lord." And all their families would cheer and people would eat sandwiches. It's a lovely religion. Well, one Sunday, this was going on in the River Exe. And on the banks of the River Exe was the Dog and Duck. And next to them was a pub. "You with me? Are you with me?" And in the pub was my uncle, and he was a bit flipping drunk, and he was watching all this go on in the River Exe, and he was curious and slightly concerned, and he was drunk, and he waded into the water up to his waist, but he was drunk. I'll show you what it's like. Could have been dangerous, up to his waist. Show you what happened. Help me, made it. And the preacher thought he was there for baptism, obviously, but I'm sure he could smell the alcohol on his breath. I'm sure he could. And he held my uncle's head in his hand. He said, "Search your soul and find the Lord." And he held his head under the water 60 seconds. I know, that's like nearly a minute. And he pulled him out. He said, "Have you found the Lord?" He said, "No." He said, "You've got to search your soul. you've got to found the Lord. And he held his head under the water 123 seconds, 2 minutes exactly. He said, have you found the Lord? He said, no, I haven't found the Lord. He said, search your soul. Found the Lord. Held his head under the water for about 5 minutes. Even put his foot on it at one point. 5 minutes. Eventually he came out half dead. He said, have you found the Lord? He said, no. Are you sure this is where he fell in? Families, make it thank you. Families. Thank you. Families make you laugh. Families make you cry. But we did have a very special occasion. This is weeks back, from my great Aunt Mary for her birthday. And a lot of the guests, my mum organised it, a lot of the guests were fairly elderly, but that's fine with me. I think you can learn a lot from people of experience. And my mum organised it all, and I said, Mum, who's that lady in the corner? I'd never seen her before. Lovely wisteria rinse, lovely makeup, lovely flowery dress. Who is she? And my mum said, don't talk to her. I said, whoa. What do you mean don't talk to her? She said, don't talk to her. Her name is Lucy, and she's a nymphomaniac. I said, what, Mum? She said, she's a nymphomaniac. I said, Mother, I think you got a bit confused there. I think it's not a nice word, but I think the word you're looking for is nymphomaniac. She said, no, she's a nymphomaniac. She is sex mad, but she's forgotten why. And I thought you should be hospitable, so I thought I'll go out and speak to her. When people come around your house, you should be hospitable. I'm not sure what hospitable means, something to do with accident and emergency, I'm not sure. And I went over to her, I approached her, I'll show you how I did it. I said, hello Lucy, are you having a lovely time at the party? And her hand came out like that. I thought she was going to punch me. Fist clenched like that. She said, if you can tell me what's in my hand, you have to make love to me. Oh my God, OMG, I wish I never spoke to her. I didn't want to upset her. I didn't know what to say. Luckily, I was touched on the shoulder by God or someone similar. I said, is it a fully grown African elephant? Brilliant, eh? She said, that's close enough, get him off. Thank you. Well, a lot of the guests were out. We've got a lovely couple in the village called Bertinelli. They've been married like for donkey's years, flipping, I don't know, 50 years or something. And they were sitting next to each other at the table, next to each other at the table. This is life. Sit next to each other, I mean opposite each other to be fair, and in between them a glass of red wine, and they were taking in turns to sip the glass of red wine. I said, my lovers, you don't have to do that. I said, we've got plenty of wine. Been to Aldi, you can buy 6 bottles for $1 in Tesco, that sort of thing, so you don't have to share the wine. And she said, we share everything. This flipping taught me. She said, we share everything. It started after the war, and we had rationing, and we shared out of necessity. Young man. But now we share because we care. I know. And I said, look, we do have some hot buffet. Help yourself to some hot buffet. Her husband was flipping gone, poof, about 90 years old, straight across to the buffet, plastic hip. He didn't care. Straight across to the buffet, plastic hip. I'll show you. He was gone. By the way, I can't hear, but I'm just assuming 1 or 2 people out there laughing at someone with a plastic hip. There's no need of that. Plastic hip is going straight across the buffet. He's probably in pain. Just, hold that laughter back. I'll show you again. Here he goes. Plastic hip. Poor man. He's gone. Got to the buffet. He got burger and chips. Came back from the buffet with the burger and chips. Plastic hip. Got a bit close to the radiator, went down, but came up again. Got back to his wife. Put the plate of burger and chips down. Got another plate. Divided the burger into 2. Divided the chips into 2, put half on the other plate for his wife. And I said, please. Done it again. You don't need to share. There's enough food to go around. And she said, we share everything. And he's sitting there eating half a burger and chips. He's just noshing away. She's doing nothing I said, lover, are you all right? Aren't you hungry? Why aren't you eating? And she said, because he's using the teeth. Boom. Well, my mum made a lovely birthday cake for my great Aunt Mary. She loves birthday cake. Made her a lovely birthday cake. But because she's getting slightly older, Mum forget things. She forgot to get some, you know, the silver icing balls you put round the top of birthday cake for me. She forgot to get them and she panicked. Bless her. And she went to Dad's garage and got some ball bearings out of the bicycle gears, stainless steel, I know. But they looked all right. She put them around the cake, they looked fine. She cleaned them off with a bit of swarfiga, you wouldn't have known. But she did tell people, she said, these are stainless steel, they're just for decoration, don't eat them. No one told my great Aunt Mary. And she was outside seeing someone off, I'll show you. Clear off! Go and play up your own house. She turned around and she saw the cake, flipping loves cake, and she headed straight for the cake. I'll show you. We all tried to stop her, I'll show you. We all went, no, great Aunt Mary! I tried twice as hard as anyone, I'll show you. No, great Aunt Mary! No, great Aunt Mary! Too late. She had a full slice of birthday cake. Straight down, 15 ball bearings put inside her. Oh, MG, we were worried to death. We thought it was going to kill her. We watched her very carefully. Very carefully. But nothing happened. Nothing happened. Not one thing happened. At first. Then after 20 minutes, she bent over to do her shoes up. Well, if you're going to laugh at the wrong place, I won't bother finishing it. She bent over to do her shoes up, broke wind and shot the Vicar. There it is! Here's a nice song for you. Hope you enjoy it. I lost my partner, what shall I do? I lost my partner, what shall I do? I lost my partner, what shall I do? Use GPS, my darling. Use GPS. Use GPS. Use GPS. It's a tracking device, my darling. Do you know what? I must be the only comedian in Britain actually working. Every Sunday I've got a gig. Hurrah! I do miss actually seeing you. I just had this idea today. I don't know if you want to do it. But you were sitting down on your sofa watching this. And you can see me in my front room, but I can't see you. So, what when you do, either a selfie or someone else in the room, take a picture of you lot sitting on your sofa with your drinks, whatever you're doing. I want to see a picture of you. Try and include the whatever you're watching me on, whether it's the telly or the phone or the iPad. I want to see that in the picture as well. So let me see. You can see me. I want to see you. Just put it on the comments section. Shall have a look at it. So, but that's, see, it's because I miss you. I was hoping to be touring like about now, but that's being postponed until the autumn time. And it's the actual physical thing of getting on stage in front of an audience and getting that feedback. And also, like, turning up to gigs is exciting. You set the gear up and your roadie does all that. I've had lovely roadies. By the way, do you remember I had a roadie called Dan? It's an unusual name, isn't it? One syllable. Dan. If you say it once, that's just his name, isn't it? Dan. If you say it twice, it's like you're trying to explain which Dan it is. Who's roadieing tonight? Dan. Which Dan? Dan, Dan. Oh, Dan. Say it 3 times and he's in trouble. Dan, Dan, Dan. Say it 5 times, he's been killed in a murder mystery. Dan, 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 Dan. Say it 100 times, he's flipping being chased. I've had lots of lovely roadies. Cheers, by the way. Happy birthday. I've had some lovely roadies. I had a roadie called John. He was a lovely guy. He let me down a couple of times for no particular reason. I said, why didn't you come to the gig last night? He said, I was flustered. Flustered. I mean, you know, if he said he was going on a camping holiday to Portishead or something, I would have accepted. Flustered. I said, why are you flustered? What happened? He said, I met this woman in a bar. Right, 2 things wrong with that. One, he's flipping teetotal, he don't go to bars, and 2, he's shy. I said, tell me more. He said, well, she came up to me in this pub and she started talking. He said, and I just sat there. Then she started buying me drinks. He said, I just sat there. Then she took me to her car and drove me back to her place, and I just sat there. And when we got to her place, she took me upstairs to the bedroom. I said, oh my God, please don't tell me you just sat there. He said, no, I joined in when requested. Well, I said, to be honest with you, I've no idea why you're flustered, because that sounds like a lovely night. He said, well, I'll tell you what happened. We finished making love. He said, I was just going to lie down to go to sleep. I noticed a picture of a big burly bloke on the mantelpiece. And he said, oh my God, you're married. Your husband's going to come back, catch me and beat me up. She said, I'm not married, just relax. Started kissing him. He said, what? It's your boyfriend there. Your boyfriend's going to come back. He's going to flip and stab me. He's going to stab me or something. She said, I haven't even got a boyfriend. He said, I can't rest until I know who's in that picture. She said, just relax. That's me before the operation. I'll be honest with you. He was a lovely bloke, John. I did get on with him. He got married, but it didn't work out. He married this one. It was a bit of a disaster because she didn't really trust him or nothing. And she said to him once, he told me, she said, have you been making love behind my back? He said, who the hell do you think it is? No. But he had problems because he sunk all his money into her new business and she went bankrupt. I'll tell you what it was. She opened a ladies' hairdressers next to the cemetery called Curl Up and Die. And it was a disaster. Flipping disaster. She's younger than him. She said horrible things. She said, at least you'll be gone before me. Do you want to be buried or cremated? Not terrible. Do you want to be buried or cremated? He said, why don't you just surprise me? Right, because the marriage went, he started doing something that I swore I would never do, and I would never ever do this. I'm lucky, I've got a fantastic marriage, but some people, if they're looking for love, do it on the internet. I'm not going to call me old-fashioned. I'm not convinced. And so that's what he tried to do, John, on these flipping websites. But yeah, he's not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. He got confused. He said, Andrew, I'm not having success with this, trying to find love on the internet. I said, why for? He said, well, I'm confused. For example, did you know, he said, I never knew this, screwfix.com is not a dating agency. He didn't realise. You see, it's not only getting to the gigs and doing the gigs, but it's the afterglow. After we've had, a good night together. And particularly when I play in the Bristol area, it's a lovely hotel, and I've been to it many, many times. And the barman there always keeps the bar open late for me after my show. We have a couple of drinks. Lovely guy called Jeffrey. Known him for years. After a while, started calling him Jeff. Got a bit closer. And a few years later, started calling him Jay. When I go in now, I go, hi, Jay. That's how close we've become. And I said, you've been here forever. He said, flipping love this hotel. I said, so do I. And that's why I come here after my shows, because there's never any problems. He said, well, not normally there ain't any problem. I said, what's going on? He said, I had a problem last week. I'll tell you the story. He said there was a bloke standing at the bar for about 2 orders. 2 hours, never ordered a drink. I'll edit that. You won't hear me say that because it'll be edited out. Oh, it's life. Stood there for 2 hours, never ordered a drink. And Jeff said to him, mate, would you like a drink? He said, well, I'd like a whiskey. Thank you very much. So I gave him a whiskey. And because it's a friendly hotel, you normally pay at the end of the night. So he sat going up to him saying, would you like another whiskey? He said, I'd love another whiskey. He had about 6. At the end of the night, Jeff said, well, that'll be £28.53. He said, I'm not paying for it. He said, lover, you've drunk the whiskey. He said, I didn't ask for any of the whiskies. You offered them to me. So I'm not paying. And this bloke stood up in the hotel, a suit and a briefcase, obviously a lawyer or ice cream man, something like that. And he said, I heard all the conversations. This man here never asked for a drink. Remuneration was never mentioned. He owes you nothing. Jeff got angry. He said, right, you done me, but now you're banned. you're never coming in this hotel again, you banned. And then Jeff said, next night, same bloke came back. He couldn't believe it. He tried to come in, he said, whoa, mate, you ain't coming in here. He said, why not? He said, because you're banned, because of last night. He said, I've never been in this hotel in my life. He said, don't give me that rubbish. You were in last night, causing all that trouble, and I banned you. He said, I'm telling you, I've never, ever been to this hotel before in my life. And Jeff said, well, you must have a double. And so it began again. I said, well, it's very rare that you have problems here. He said, well, to be honest, that was the second time. I said, there was another incident. He said, yeah. I said, could you tell me so I can tell the people on Facebook Live? He said, oh, well. He said, I just come on duty. Jeremy just finished. He said, come on duty. There's a bloke standing at the bar. This was about 3 weeks ago. Bloke standing at the bar, and he's just staring at the glass in front of him. There's only a little drop in the glass. He's just staring at it. And Jeff said, oh, mate, would you like a top up in there? He didn't even look at Jeff, just staring at the glass with the little... And Jeff said, hey, mate, go on, have another drink. And then Harry turns up. You know Harry, he's the local comedian. Everyone loves him. He turns up, how's everybody doing? All right. And he looks at the bloke with the glass. He said, hey, mate, do you want to top up in there? Nothing. He said, can I have that drink then? Can I have it? Do you not want it? I'll have it. And he picked up the glass, flipping drank it, and the bloke burst into tears. Flipping burst into tears. And he said, I'm sorry, mate. He said, I didn't mean to upset you or nothing. He said, just trying to cheer you up. And he said, you know nothing about Lyme. Sorry, there's someone coming through. I can't concentrate. There's a message coming through. Thank you. He said, you know nothing about my life is this. You know nothing about my life. He said, I've had the worst day of my life ever. He said, I woke up this morning, it was raining, the car wouldn't start, I had to walk to work. I got to work, they gave me the sack. He said, I rang the wife to tell her, she told me she'd left me for the milkman. I went to the bank, she'd clean me out, I walked back in the rain, she'd left the door open, dog was in the middle of the road, hit by a truck, and I come to the pub tonight to end it all. You turn up and drink me poison. Boom. Who's that? Happy birthday, Emma Bunce! Happy birthday, Emma Bunce! That's what just came through. Shout brought that through. I've got lots of shout outs to do at the end of the show. I promise I will. I love that hotel, by the way. And Jeff's such a lovely guy. Mind you, of a Saturday morning, I did a Friday night gig in Portishead, I think. And then on the Saturday morning, there was all hell to pay. In the reception, this bloke saying, I want to move rooms, my name is Mr. Jones, I'm in room 742 and I want to move. He said, well, Mr. Jones, that is our penthouse suite, that's the top room in the whole hotel. I mean, what do you want to move? Is it dirty? We'll certainly send the maid up and get it clean. He said, it's a very clean room. He said, well, did you not get the bowl of fruit and the bottle of champagne? He said, yes, I've got the bowl of champagne. He said, well, why do you want to move rooms? He said, does the jacuzzi not work properly? I'm going to keep going, show, bringing something else. Don't laugh, love, I can hear you. Is the jacuzzi and the sauna working all right? He said, it's perfect. So what about the 70-inch surround television, is that working right? He said, I'll tell you what, that TV is fabulous. He said, well, why do you want to move rooms? He said, because it's on fire. So, cheers. Laughter, let's do some laughter. This one. So, I went down for, that one. So, no, that one. Yeah. So I went down for some breakfast, and lady on the table next to me, she said to one of the waitresses, could I have a jug of milk, please, for my husband, as he's lactose intolerant? So what? She said, could I have a jug of milk? My husband, he's lactose intolerant. She said, if he's lactose intolerant, you shouldn't be giving him milk. She said, I know, but I don't really like him. And then I said to my waitress, excuse me, what sort of yogurts do you have? What yogurts do you have? And she said, raspberry, strawberry, peach, cherry. Oh dear, do you have laryngitis? She said, no, raspberry, strawberry, peach, Joey. Boom. And I went to the same hotel in the evening before my show. I thought I'll have something to eat. And she gave me the menu. It's a different waitress, gave me the menu. And I said, I don't think this menu's right. Love her. She said, what do you mean? I said, I think there's a typo. She said, what are you talking about? I said, well, it says egg, chips and beans, £4.50, and that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable price. It says lobster tails, £2.50. That can't be right. She said, well, no, actually it is. We've got a special on lobster tails. I said, oh my God, I'll have a lobster tail. She said, okay. Once upon a time, there was a lobster. Obviously, I didn't look at the time. Oh no, got to go in a minute. You want to watch Belgravia? So I went to this other cafe. It's a bit weird. As I walked in, there was a young lad there with a salmon under his arm, a live salmon, and the tail was flapping and everything. And I don't know how old he was, about seven, I think. I don't know how old the boy was. And he said to the waiter, do you sell fish cakes? And the waitress said, yes, we do. And the boy said, could he have one? It's his birthday. So I went in and I said, to the waiter, I've never been here before. Could I have a coffee without cream? And he said, no, you can't. We don't sell cream. You'll have to have it without milk. Then I can't wait for you. He gave me the menu and it was like ridiculous. You didn't know what you was ordering because it said like chicken, pork, beef, lamb. It didn't, say any more details. And I said, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm ordering. I said, at least can you tell me how you prepare the chicken? He said, we just tell it it's going to die. Then 3 Hell's Angels walked in. I'll show you how they walked into the cafe. 3 Hell's Angels walked into the cafe. Well, normal walking. And the first Hell's Angel went up to this bloke eating his dinner, and he put his cigarette out in the man's mashed potato. I was horrified. I'll show you how horrified I was. The second Hell's Angel picked up the man's coffee. This is unbelievably rude, and drank it. And the third Hell's Angel, picked up the man's steak and kidney pie, yes, threw it on the floor, smashed into 1,000 pieces. Could have been Fred Bentos. I don't know. There was no tin. The man finished what was left of his dinner and then calmly walked out of the cafe. Calmly, I'll show you. This is how calmly he walked out. And I thought I'd better keep it a bit quiet there, so I kept myself to myself. And then after about 3 minutes, that Hell's Angel came up to me. I thought, I'm dead here. He said, you see that man that walked out of the cafe? I said, I did, yes. He said, he's not much of a man, is he? He's not much of a man, is he? I said, no, he's not much of a man. I said, he's not much of a lorry driver either. He's just reversed over 3 motorbikes. Boom! So, I'm going to do these hellos. Just before I do, my mate Dennis, he's a nice guy. Quite old-fashioned, still has his hair in a mullet. Lovely guy, stinks of fish. He's on this diet. Anyway, his missus came round to my house the other night. She was crying. I said, lover, what is it? Why are you crying? She said, it's Dennis. I said, what's happened to him? She said, well, since he's been on this flipping diet, he never makes love to me. I said, right? What do you want me to do about it? She said, can you help me? I said, lover, I'm a married woman. She said, I don't mean that. Can you give me any advice? I said, well, I've got some Viagra. Why don't you try this? She said, you take Viagra? I said, no, thank you. I've got Viagra in the house because I give some to my father every night before he goes upstairs. I give him a Viagra, and that way I know he's not going to roll out of bed. She said, he won't take Viagra. I said, why not? She said, he's got a phobia about tablets. He won't even take paracetamol if he's got a headache. I said, well, crush a couple of Viagra into his coffee and see if it has the desired effect for you. So I held up my hand, 6. She took flipping 6. And she came back a week later, crying, bawling her eyes out. I said, what happened? Did you not crush the Viagra into his coffee? She said, yes, I did. Crush the Viagra into his coffee. I said, well, did he not drink the coffee? She said, yeah, he drank coffee. I said, well, did he not have the desired effect? He said, yeah, he took me there and then over the table 20 minutes. I said, what are you moaning for? She said, we are now banned from Starbucks. cleaner. You mean the world to me. You're standing there so upright with your attachments, more than 3. I've seen you in a tight corner and the back seat of my car, and if I had a long extension lead, I'd take you to the beach. Oh, vacuum cleaner, cleaning up the world, ridding us of dog hairs and human ones, straight and curled. You also crossed my carpet. You crashed into my life. And now I feel so close to you. Will you be my wife? Oh, vacuum cleaner, some people think I'm sad to fall in love with the cleansing implement. Don't tell my mum or the milkman, for they don't understand me. Don't think they'll ever know the power of your suction unless they possess a similar motto. I love you all. Stay safe. Stay at home. See you next week. Love ya. Thank you. Hey! Yeah. The old Buffy again. Yes! Do it with me. The hound's going now. On the sofa. No one can see her. Dance like no one's watching.